Did it work? Are we live? Are we here? I don't understand how this StreamYard thing goes live so fast, so much faster than OBS. My mind is blown by this software, but anyway, hi! Welcome to the Daily Juice, where I go live every single day with something positive to be some type of positive voice on the internet and in your life. So I thank all of you for being a positive influence on my life, for coming in and always being so awesome. My phone is turned the wrong way. Turn. I can't read comments sideways. So yeah, I love you, and you guys made my birthday so special. I know some of you guys got some stuff for me off of my Amazon wish list. I did go to the post office today, and I did not have any gifts yet. So when I get it, I will unbox it. I know I said I wanted to unbox it today, but I didn't actually receive any of them yet. So I will just open them as they get here. I do leave tomorrow for upstate New York. So I'm from upstate New York originally, and my mom's hosting me a 30th birthday party this weekend, since today is my 30th birthday. So I'm going to be seeing some friends that I have known since elementary school, and some that I actually didn't even realize were going to be there until today and yesterday or the day before. So I'm really excited. I just am feeling super grateful, and I feel very loved, and therefore I feel like I'm overflowing with so much love for all the people that are showing me love and everyone else. I have lots of excess to give. Even if I'm just meeting you now, I feel like I have a lot of love to give you. So, hi. Oh, yes, the Dirty 30. Hi, Ben. Thank you. I haven't read any comments yet because I wanted to say some stuff. And I know that you guys watching this on the replay, randomly in the future, Big Brother fans, you're like, what the hell is this? This isn't even about Big Brother. We'll get to it. But I go live on here every day, and I have kind of a special relationship with the homies here. So I just wanted to say I love you guys so much. Thank you for making my birthday so special. And yeah, we'll be in New York. I'll still be live every day on Periscope while I'm in New York. So maybe you guys can meet some of my friends that I've had for so long, some of my family. Some family members got brand new baby puppies they're going to bring to the party. So hopefully you guys can see some puppies. Yeah, I'm just so happy. I feel like the luckiest person ever. My life isn't even real. And I just want to remind you guys out there who are like, wow, great for you. My life sucks. My life super sucked in the past as well. So let me be a reminder to you that things can and will get better, especially if you are determined to make them so. And we kind of choose the way that we view the things that happen to us and what we choose to do with the things that happen, because bad things happen to all of us. But obviously I'm aware that I'm very lucky as well. It's not like it's all thanks to me by any means, but just know that you can have change in your life. And if there's any way I can help you, because I used to be suicidal. I mean, I don't think it gets any lower than that. I didn't actually attempt suicide. So I guess that's one step that I could have gone further that I didn't. But other than that, I feel like that's rock bottom for a human life. So I've been there, and I know that it can change. And I wouldn't have believed it when I was at that stage either. So, okay, I'm going to read comments now. And then after all that, after we get to whatever conversation we get about in the comments, then we'll talk about the last 3 episodes of Big Brother, Season 22, All-Stars Edition, Episodes 17, 18, and 19. Episode 19 was tonight on my birthday. It was eviction night, so we'll talk about the whole week in the Big Brother house and what I think about it. Thank you, Oblong. Yeah, you were a part of what made my birthday great. So, Oblong, you were the first comment to the broadcast. Thanks for some of the last birthday wishes I'm going to get on my birthday, because it's only for 15 more minutes. Hey, Aussie. Thank you, David. Happy birthday still. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to try to get live while it's still my birthday, because it just feels weird that I was only live until 7:30 in the morning on my birthday, because I started at midnight. So I'm like, well, let's do a final little birthday goodbye, goodbye to the birthday until... So yeah, I didn't clean up anything after last night. As those of you who were there probably knew, I was so tired. I was and then I was so tired, but then I was I'm going to say a lot of stuff today. I was just getting all these texts from friends and family, and I'm checking in with them because this is the chance, right? They're happy birthday. I'm thank you so much. How are you doing? What's new with you? And they're asking me what's up with me and how am I doing. They're going to see me this weekend. We're making plans. And it's okay. And then all of a sudden it was 11:30 this morning before I went to sleep. So I'm also still a little tired tonight, and Ed was really, my boyfriend was really trying to lure me into bed. He's like, come on, just take a little nap with me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get my work done because we leave for New York tomorrow and there's like so much to be done still with packing and planning and preparation, trying not to forget anything. So I want to stay on the schedule I've been on because I feel like that will work well for me. So I might not make it to 5 o'clock this morning, or yeah, this morning. It's okay, tomorrow morning, technically. Like I normally do. I normally go live on Twitch from midnight to 5 in the morning, but tonight I'm thinking that's never, no way in hell gonna happen, but I'll at least be live for, let's say I'll be live for at least 2 hours. I can commit to at least 2 hours on Twitch tonight, playing duos with Katie, so 2 hours, 2 players, duos, over on Fortnite. So that's the plan for tonight. For those of you guys who watch me on Twitch and play Fortnite, I'm just going to do duos tonight, though, so I'm not playing with viewers tonight on Twitch. But come hang out with me and Katie and help us out because we kind of suck. Oh, happy 30th, old lady. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks, you young whippersnapper. Why did they vote Janelle off of Big Brother? She was good. That's exactly why they voted her out. Because she was good. She has played more seasons of Big Brother than anybody else, and she's won more competitions than anyone else in Big Brother history, I believe. So that's why they voted her out. Seems obvious to me. Exactly 1 month after. Oh, yours is August 17th? Maybe it was your birthday. I thought that was Sonam's birthday. I think Sonam's is the 19th. I hope I didn't mess that up again. I don't know. I remember I was like off a day on Sonam's birthday this year, and I was like, I thought your birthday was exactly 1 month before mine, but maybe it was you, Ben. Does it feel weird now that you're 30? It felt weird for you. I mean, maybe a little bit. Like, I'm a thinker, okay? As you can tell, a thinker and a talker. So I definitely, it was like a big reflection time. It was like a, it's a, they call it like a, what do they call it? I just took a test on psychology of aging right before this broadcast. I got a 96, but I take online classes. So I was just studying this and I forget exactly what it's called. It's like normative age graded influence, something like that. It's like milestones throughout your life. So things that happen around certain ages of your life. So like things like menopause or going through puberty or like entering kindergarten or something that's kind of like most people experience this around this same age in their life, even though we're all that age at different times, right? Different years. So, but based on age. So that's in terms of like turning 30, it's just a time to kind of like reflect and say like, oh, kind of see like what, you kind of like check in and see like, all right, am I on the track that I wanted to be on? Like 10 years ago was my projection for my 30-year-old self. Am I on track for that? Did I want more for myself? Did I want something different? Reflect on that and then kind of like make a plan for the next 10 years and say, okay, I'm going into a new decade, like new experiences, and just be really kind of open-minded and excited. I like getting older because I have more knowledge. I love learning. And so the more time I get, the more stuff I get to learn and know and think, and I get to hone my skills better. And I just think it's fucking awesome. I don't know. People are like, oh, everything's going to hurt now in your body. I mean, that would suck. Obviously, I don't like look forward to pain. Nobody does. But I also like really, really, really love the mental advancement that you experience as you get older. So it's good enough for me. And I feel like 30s, it really isn't a time where people are like, oh, you're super old now. A lot of people, like once they're like 50 plus, a lot of people, I feel like their 30s for them was like a really fun, awesome time in their life, because you also like, you've been working for the past 15 years, like hopefully, and I don't compare yourself to my perceptions. But for me, I'm thinking like by now it's like you're more stable. I feel more stable financially. I feel good. I feel good about who I am, what I look like, how I sound. I remember being young, like I couldn't stand the sound of my own voice on a recording. I didn't like the way I looked. I wasn't really comfortable in my body. And like, it just wasn't great. And then the past few years, I'm like, this is way better, way better. Like I would not want to go back to being young. Like in even my early 20s, like I like now way better. So I feel good about it, and I feel like the next 10 years can only be awesome, you know? I mean, bad things can still happen, it will happen. But I think that the good will outweigh that. And the good that's happened to me already has, you know, given me a lifetime to be grateful for. Okay, don't trust anyone over 30. Good advice from boss. Let me pin it up. I'm over 30 now. Because, you know, I'm 31. I'm 31. I'm 30 and 1 day in 8 minutes. So you shouldn't trust me at that point. You can trust me the next 8 minutes, though. So, yeah, you want any advice? Because I can give you good, trustworthy advice for the next 8 minutes. Oh my God, is that cake? R19, thank you for the cake and also the faces that look like this. Which was not very excited for cake, I feel like. I look sexy. What? Thank you? I don't understand. Like in a hoodie, chilling? Half asleep? Is that money on the background on the floor? Yes, it is. We shut off the cash cannon on Twitch last night / this morning, and it didn't get cleaned up. And then it probably won't get cleaned up. It's gonna get cleaned up before I go to bed. I'll clean it up eventually, okay? It's fun for now, right? After I turned 30 is when I started to worry about illnesses and death. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we'll see if that happens to me. I mean, I think a lot of people worry about that stuff throughout life, you know? I allegedly may have tripped on mushrooms at some point in my life, and allegedly, and during that alleged hypothetical experience, I may or may not have come to a very comfortable feeling about death and realizing that it's like the one thing that we all have in common, like the one experience that unifies us all, and it's kind of like I need a better word for this. It's like, it's the end for all of us. We all experience the same end of our story. I almost said it's like the goal, like we're all heading towards the same goal. It's not like our goal is death per se, but like, you know, we are gonna die. So just like kind of knowing that and knowing like everyone you meet, even though you might not know them, like you just see them, like that person's gonna die. Like I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. Like, and that's okay. Like that's not something that for me like freaks me out, but I definitely had like allegedly had a weird experience under hallucinogenic drugs that has stuck with me for, I don't know, 15 alleged years. Okay, moving on. So yeah, death doesn't really scare me, but maybe that'll change now, who knows. I know some people actually start to experience like panic attacks around this age, which is interesting to me, and I hope that that's not my experience. I can't really imagine that it would be, because I feel like a very laid back, calm energy person, but that's my theme for this year too. I'm very focused on calm energy, so hopefully that will keep those types of symptoms at bay. Thank you, Howard. How are you? Hi. I'm the best one? Whoa, I don't know about all that. Thank you, Reggie. Me too. Did I correct my question with SSRIs or all natural? No SSRIs, no. All natural is a little too far because I didn't just like grow out of it. I went to therapy. So therapy was the number one way that I was able to come out of depression, which is why I'm going to school to become a therapist. It's kind of like the story that probably most people have in mental health. What's up? Retired? I'm good. I'm good. Is that money? Yes. Strip show happen? Make it rain. No. No stripping. Thank you, Danny. Oh, thank you, Ariel. You'll play with me? Nice, Brandon. Are you talking about Fortnite? Yeah, I play with people once they have 8 hours of watch time on my Twitch channel. So my Twitch username is the same as here on Periscope, Nextjuice, NEXJUICE. So just come hang out. And once you're at 8 hours, I'll be away this weekend. So I'll be live on Twitch tonight and then 3 nights off. And then on Monday night, I'll be back. I have the same birthday as, oh my God, as Thomas? I think I might have known that, actually. That sounds familiar now that you say that. Yours is September 3rd. Well, happy belated birthday, Brandon. It's been exactly 2 weeks since your birthday. My eyelid got stuck. Pain usually is after 40 when your body starts hurting. 30, you're still good. Perfect. That's what I want to hear. That's good stuff. I like that. Hello, Pestas. Merhaba. You want to go back to 21? Can you play Ringing in the Sheep on the piano? Maybe if I had the music in front of me. I'm not sure. Never heard of that. You want to go back to 21? My 21st birthday was fun, but my 30th birthday this weekend, maybe I shouldn't compare the two, but I'm excited. I'm like, this is going to be even Thank you, Mike. My bones should be making noise, and you don't mean the wrist. My bones, I feel like, already make noise, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm like kind of like a skinny person, you know? I kind of feel like my joints are a little bit like, they kind of bulge out and make noises. What kind of cupcakes did I eat? I had vanilla with vanilla frosting. It was refrigerated though, and it was like the frosting was, I don't know. It said buttercream frosting has to be refrigerated. So I was like, it was weird, but it was fine. It just felt like a lot of sugar and it was like cold and it just didn't feel like a cupcake to me. The Among Us game was fun. Yes, like Among Us was so freaking fun, dude. I played that till like 7:30 in the morning. It was awesome. And I played it even after that. I played it on my phone with Sonam and Katie on Sonam stream for at least an hour, I would say. Maybe not. No, maybe at most an hour, probably. And I played it on my phone today, too, laying in bed, chilling. Or on the couch or something. I'm like obsessed with that game right now. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. Hi time, and I'm getting better at it. I'm learning the new strategies. Like you should always stick with another person and preferably 3 people. And then you kind of like move around all together around the ship and try to do your tasks together, because if either one of them is the killer, they won't kill you because the other person would see them. And we're never going to get to Big Brother, are we? And if they're not, then you can vouch for them. You can, at least you see they didn't kill anybody, you know? So then you have like you have an alibi and you have 2 people you know are safe, or at least 1 person, you know, because they might, especially if there's 2 imposters, they might not really be killing people. You can actually win as the imposter without killing anyone just by people voting out the wrong people. Anyway, so if you follow other people doing tasks, you can kind of like just judge like when they're, however long it took them to do their tasks, you just like, okay, yeah, it took me that long too. Anyway, there's a lot of strategy that is not necessary to share right now. There you go, guys. Among Us strategy. Okay, you're 26. Nice. Already old. You think you're old at 26? Okay. Maybe you hang out with a lot of kids. I did have a good birthday, Daryl. Yeah, I slept through like a majority of it, I feel like, but we had a lot of fun last night. Saul, what's up? Thanks for the compliment of old lady. I'm good. How are you? Wubba lubba dub dub. Hi, how are you? You've died twice. It's very overrated. Yeah, I would imagine. Who's this 30-year-old woman? What? What? Did you say you took SSRIs? No, I did not take SSRIs. I didn't take any pills. But I also wouldn't say I just all naturally came out of depression. Therapy was vital for my healing, for sure. And also learning about positive psychology, which I did at age 19. But it's tricky because at age 19, not only did I learn about positive psychology and read a book called Positivity, I also met my dad for the first time. And I also basically came out of puberty around that time, right? 19. So it's like really hard to tell exactly what really like flipped the switch for me, honestly. I feel like try everything. Just, there's a lot of options. Suicide is definitely the last option. Like, you can always choose that, but it will be the last choice you ever make. So make sure it's the last choice you make, you know? I don't look a day over 29. I am 1 day over 29. Hola, Jim. How are you? I have a children's book on my Amazon wishlist. I do, because I review books, and she is a yoga teacher in California that I find kind of interesting and nice, and I figure, hey, you know, patronize her, have her book, do a review, connect with her in some level. It's kind of cool. I thought it was cool that she wrote it, and I thought it, you know, I'm kind of curious about it because I feel like we're on similar paths, and as if she does it and it's like good and I like it, maybe I would do something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I just like to explore stuff, all kinds of stuff. Did I enjoy my day enough? Yeah, absolutely. Today was freaking awesome. Do I ever still play Family Feud? I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know. I mean, I will. It's not like I'll never play it again. I tried to type massive action, massive erection. That was our theme last year, massive action, not erection. Nat says arriving tomorrow by 9 p.m. Yeah, depending, I don't know if I'm going to make it. My plan was like, I'm going to go to the post office today. Tomorrow, probably not going to go to the post office because by the time I go to sleep in the morning, I usually don't wake up until after the post office is closed. So today was the day for the post office, but I can go Monday when I get back because by the time the end of the weekend is here, like by Monday, I'll be on a day schedule. you know, that's how I live my life. I'm naturally nocturnal, so if I don't have stuff going on, I don't have trips going on, I'll just slowly shift into like the schedule I'm on now, which is go to bed at like 8 a.m. and wake up at 4 p.m. and just go about your day. So, but when I have to go like see my mom isn't on that schedule, and all my friends and family aren't on that schedule, so I like shift it for them, and then it'll slowly start to shift back. And I'll be like, I bet you like on Monday or Tuesday, I don't know. Usually what'll happen, I'm like, oh, I'm on the day schedule. I love being on the day schedule. It's so nice being up during the day. But then I'll just shift back to this again because it's my natural way. It's my state. Nocturnal, yeah, like someone who's awake at night, like a raccoon. And when I woke up this morning, my makeup looked like I was a raccoon. All right, will I vote by mail? I mean, I think because I'm in New Jersey, I think like everybody's supposed to vote by mail. I'll vote whatever way they want me to vote. Like whatever method, not whatever person. But I don't think my vote will make much difference. But I'll do it anyway. I always do it, even though I live in, you know, I lived in New York, now I live in New Jersey. I think I know the outcome. So, but I can vote against it if I want to. And I do. Who won HOH? I'm not sure, Kyle, do you know? I don't watch the live feeds. So I'm going to start my Big Brother recap now. Oblong, thank you for the super hearts. Sorry, I was reading the chat over there so much I missed super hearts. Jose, thank you for the super hearts. Like an owl. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Danny. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are probably kind of night owls because otherwise we wouldn't cross paths often enough to become as close as we are. And you wouldn't be here right now at midnight listening to me talk about Big Brother. Okay. Unless you're on the West Coast and it's only 9 p.m. and you're a normal person, in which case we salute you. We don't understand you, but good job. Good work being normal. If voting made a difference, they wouldn't let you do it. I don't know about all of that, Tiger, but that is a really funny comment. I like that. That appeals to the Big Brother concept, right? The 1984 by George Orwell novel about Big Brother. Big Brother is always watching, and that's how this show spawned. So that was a perfect segue because you're saying like they, right? So if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let you do it. Like the powers that be, which is another name for Big Brother. So let's get into the Big Brother segue. Good job. Good job, Tiger. I'll send you your paycheck because that was good work. So this is crazy because as I read my recap of Sunday's episode, I'm like, it feels like a lifetime ago that any of this stuff happened. I feel like a lot happened this week, so we'll see how long it takes us to get through it. Then I'll go live on Twitch for duos with Katie after this. Here we go. First, we kind of see Christmas apologizing to Davon because of the whole Bailey going home last week thing. They assured each other that they were both safe. Christmas said, you know, just so you know, you're totally safe. We're good, right? People wanted Bailey out. I had to do it. Bailey is now gone. I want to work with you. It wasn't a you and Bailey thing. It was just a Bailey thing. And Davon's like, and so Christmas is like, so you're safe. You're good, I swear. And Davon's like, good, that's what I want to hear. Then Christmas says, I feel like kind of like tactlessly, like she just says like, in return, can I ask you that like if you win HOH, you'll keep me safe? And Davon's like, oh yeah, of course, like absolutely, like you are good, girl, you have nothing to worry about. And then she like, you know, you see her over on the camera like, what the I'm coming for you the first chance I get. Like you put me up and sent home my strongest ally. Like obviously you're not safe. Like I'm gonna get you, but I'm not gonna tell you to your face I'm coming for you when I have no power. Like you know, so I liked that. I really, Davon, like I don't know what it was, like she didn't really get her chance to shine as much like earlier this season, but this past week I really like Davon. Like I'm really starting to enjoy her personality, her energy, her strategy, like the way that she does these things, her confidence. Like I enjoy her. I don't feel like she's in a great position in the house and has really a great shot of winning, but I do really, really, really like her, and I like the throwing the competition concept. Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, she wants to get Christmas out as soon as possible. So we go back to the end of the HOH competition that we talked about on my last recap at the end of episode 16. And they were on the billboard that's tipping them forward. And they have to try to hold on and try not to fall off the billboard. And David says he's picturing himself on a real billboard. So he's doing a visualization exercise, which is interesting. So I teach meditation. I have a meditation program that's actually linked in my Periscope profile if you want to check it out. And I enjoy that facet of David, that he's into meditation and visualization. And that's what he's using to try to get himself through this challenge. So I noted that down. Now, David, oh, not David, sorry. And he was like, because if you fell off like a real billboard, it's so high up off the ground, it would really hurt, you might die. So you try to like use that to keep you clutching to it for dear life, like as if it is life or death and not just an HOH competition, which may or may not feel like that big of a deal. Then we have, so it kind of like pans through each of the contestants and shows how they're feeling about this competition. Do they want to win? If they do want to win, why? How do they plan to win? What's their strategy? So that they start with David. Then we have Danny, who basically says like, I don't want to win this HOH. I just want to beat Tyler. I want to make sure he just isn't coming for me because of their like contention. So I'm just wanting to make sure that he doesn't win, but I also don't want to win because I don't want to have to get blood on my hands and put names up or anything like that. And that's tricky because Tyler is very strong. It's hard to outlast him. Kevin is talking about how he's been out of the loop this whole season. He's completely accurate about that, and that he knows the only way to get brought into the fold in this game is to win some power. So he really does really want to win because it's the only thing that could really save his game at this point. Ian wants to win because he wants to figure out who has the secret powers and try to use that as leverage. And he's, I feel like at this point, felt pretty good and secure in the game with his alliance that I didn't know existed until tonight's episode, which is the 4 Prime, which consists of Ian, Cody, Nicole, and Danny. Ian, Cody, Nicole, and Danny. So they're in the 4 Prime. And I wasn't aware of that alliance until tonight's episode, but that alliance started on day 16. So that is in the forefront of his mind and is very important to how this all ends up playing out. So he's feeling good, but he still wants to win so he can get some leverage and kind of figure out who has the powers. Devon falls on purpose, which supposedly, let me say this. Okay, so Devon says, here's the thing. Everybody views me as expendable. Nobody sees me as a threat because I don't win any challenges. Devon, in all her history of Big Brother, has never won a challenge for anything. So she is viewed as someone who's not like a competition threat. So she says that she's going to use that to her advantage, and she falls off the wall on purpose, and she cries, and she's like, why can't I get these stupid challenges? Like, I just try so hard and I can't, I fucking suck and I hate myself, like this whole kind of thing. And behind closed doors, she's doing that, and then she just like basically snaps and goes like, this is all fake. Like, I'm just doing this so they think, oh, poor pathetic weak Devon, can't like figure out like how she never wins a challenge, she's no threat, so that they'll keep her in the game longer. So she kind of stays under their radar and doesn't put any kind of target on her back. Now, okay, that could be her strategy, and I do think that is her strategy. And I saw her doing that, right? She was doing the fake crying and stuff, which I love. I think that's hilarious. It's fun to watch. But it's also, I don't know how easy it was to actually stay up on that billboard. Like, she might have actually fallen off or kind of realized like she wasn't going to likely win this challenge of all. So she kind of like threw it because she didn't have a lot of confidence she'd be able to do it anyway. Maybe. I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that part. I'm good, Hayden. How are you? Hi, Berto. Have we frozen? It feels like you're watching the show. Well, good. I'll summarize it all for you. But hopefully we're still connected on YouTube. If you guys can just like tell me if we're still connected and everything is good, because it looks frozen on my phone. I just want to make sure it's still rolling. It seems to still be going. So I'm going to keep talking and you just talk to me if you can hear me. Enzo was having way too much fun. It was just fun. Like, he was just entertaining to watch. Danny's like, can I move to a different spot? Because she's next to him and he's saying, oh, that water feels nice. Oh, I like that water. I just love him. He's like my favorite person ever. I go out of town tomorrow. Tomorrow we are leaving, but I'll still be live tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow though, my live stream will be like, it'll probably be like me in bed maybe with Ed or something, like, because we're getting to my mom's house pretty late, and like her and her husband are going to be asleep, and then we have my birthday party the next day during the day, so we have to go to bed at like a reasonable time and try not to wake up the whole house. So it'll be like probably a pretty short like check-in. Hey, we got to New York. What's up with y'all? Here's how we're doing. We're probably fine and good and gonna go to bed and have our party tomorrow, and hope y'all are good and have a fun Friday night, and we'll see you on Saturday kind of thing. Thank you, Mark. I did have a great birthday. Okay. Okay, so did Devon fall first? Yeah, so Devon fell first, then David, then Ian. So those three all now have to be have-nots. Then Enzo, then Kevin, then Tyler, who when he fell off, he did a really cool flip, which I thought was cool. Yay, Sonam! I think she's actually playing Grand Theft Auto tonight, but that's exciting that she's live tonight. It'd be more exciting if I was playing Fortnite with her or something with her, but anyway. Then Nicole, and, well, okay, wait, let's do Tyler. So Tyler does a flip, and he's out, which is the only person Danny really wanted to outlast. She doesn't want to win. She just wants to beat Tyler. But now there's only 3 people left. Now it's Danny, Cody, and Nicole. Now they're all in the committee. They're all in the same alliance. Like, they're in Danny, Tyler, or actually, no, Tyler's not a part of it. Okay. No, Danny, Nicole, and Cody are all in the 4 Prime alliance with Ian as well. So they're all kind of like good with each other. They all feel good. So they reveal that none of them actually want to win. So Nicole doesn't want to win for the same reason Danny doesn't want to win. She doesn't really want to have to like take shots at anybody, put anybody up. She wants to continue to stay under the radar for the next, usually like the first half of the season. I think they kind of try to like lay low, and then the second half ramp it up. So Cody is like, he won the first HOH. It's always good not to have too big of a target on your back, win too many competitions. Like Enzo's won 1 of each at this point. So, and Cody also wants Danny or Nicole to get some blood on their hands and to not have, to be able to just skate by. He wants them to have to put people up and, play a little bit of their own game, so he's not having to like take all the shots. So Nicole falls off first, then Cody, and so then Danny ends up winning, even though she did not want to. Now, remember, Danny, and she hadn't won anything yet, and she now has the secret power, which is that the HOH can compete in back-to-back weeks, which normally they can't do. So she can actually, now that she's HOH, she can actually use it to compete in tonight's HOH challenge. And she actually, I'll just say now, decided not to use the power to compete again. And we'll talk about why that is as we get into her HOH reign, kind of how it unfolds and how it unfolded. So, and about that challenge, everyone was saying it was like the hardest challenge they'd ever done. Like, it was so hard. It was like physically really challenging, and the water was like ice, frigid, like almost solid ice cube water. So to the point that it was like just horrible. It was a horrible, horrible challenge. So, and Danny was like literally convulsing. She was so cold, and I could not believe that she won. I mean, it just blew me away. But it was, I think Cody could have won it, but he didn't want to. And Nicole maybe could have won it also, but didn't want to. So that was like, that's just how it worked out. Because once it was Cody and Nicole, Danny could have thrown it then, but she said she didn't want to make it look too obvious that she fell right after Tyler, that she was throwing it, like just wanted to beat him. Although I'm not really sure that that would have been able to be picked up on at that, because they had all lasted so long already. But, and I feel like once you're doing it, like once there's only 3 people, it's like you could win, and some part of you just wants to win, you know? Is my gym open? Yeah, but you have to wear a mask when you work out. Can you guys see me? My screen just went black for a second. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Let me check my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, I can check my Periscope too. You can, thank you, because last time I asked, nobody answered, so I was like, I still don't know if they can see me or not. Okay, thank you, Poland Strong, you're my hero right now. Thank you for that, thank you. Okay, so then Danny and Davon are talking now that Danny's HOH, and she reassures Davon, listen, you're safe. You know, what I told you before is true. Bailey was a target. We're not trying to get you out. Like, I'm working with you. You're safe. I'm not putting you out on the block. So Davon kind of plants the seed, like, well, maybe you want to put up Tyler, because remember, Tyler was supposed to go in Bailey's place, and Tyler and Danny had some contention where he, like, kind of blew up her game to Davon, and then, you know, Davon kind of blew up her game with Tyler to Danny, so they have this love triangle thing going on. She would hate to hear me say love triangle. Not love triangle, not a romantic love triangle. It's just a triangle. It's just three people. It's a trio, okay? They have a complicated trio relationship. They're a trouble. I'm just kidding. They're not a trouble. Okay, so Davon wants Danny to put up Tyler. You know, she's like, kind of, you know, prove your loyalty to me. And so she doesn't say all this, but it's like she wants that to happen because that would be what she thinks best for her game. Although I disagree, because Tyler went to Davon with information. Like, now Davon is outside of the committee, but I would, if I was Davon, I would actually trust Tyler more than Danny. But Danny wasn't in power before, so they only really got to see, like, you know, Christmas and Tyler's, like, true hand, where they didn't really get to see Danny's yet. So we got to see Danny's hand, a lot of Danny's hand this week. So then I thought it was interesting. So they're showing conversation. I don't even know who David is talking about, but he's I'm sorry, I don't know who he was talking to, but he is the first person in the game that I have heard, or even people being ejected from the game, that I've heard actually identify Memphis and Christmas as part of the main alliance, which is so awesome, and definitely another, like, check mark for him, for kind of, you know, we were all kind of like wanting David to prove himself as an all-star this season, and that is impressive, because he's the first person, at least that they aired publicly on television, that actually said, you know, I think Memphis and Christmas are part of that big alliance. He's really starting to see that, and it took a while for anyone to pick up on that, so that's impressive that he picked up on it. And we saw that from him last season when he was in that, like, the comeback camp comeback, and he was kind of, like, observing everything, and he knew, like, okay, these people are working together, there are alliances, and he was pretty perceptive, and that's very, very, very important and powerful, and a good strength to have in this game. Plus, he has that secret power where he can take somebody off of the block. So I thought that was impressive. So Danny was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just play it safe. Instead of going after Tyler, I'll just do, like, David and Kevin, which is what I thought. I thought, who's she going to put up? Probably David and Kevin, like, some of the only people outside of their alliance. And I was like, well, maybe Ian, like, maybe she'll take a shot at a winner and get Ian out. But Danny's very close with Nicole, and Nicole and Ian are also very close. So David and Kevin seem like the obvious choice, and with potentially Ian as a replacement. That was what I had written down here before seeing what happened. And Cody encourages David and Kevin. He says, David and Kevin's kind of like all you can do, so just do that. I would be down for that, Reggie. I don't know, though. I don't want to make any promises, because I told Katie I would play duos with her on Fortnite, and I'm kind of tired because I didn't get enough sleep last night. I need to start shifting to a day schedule. So I want to make sure I put in at least, like, 2 solid hours, and then probably that whole time doing duos with Katie. So maybe, like, 2 hours of duos with Katie, and then maybe Among Us after. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, and then they have this great, like, comedic relief part where they're in one of the rooms, and they bury Danny, like, under all of these pillows in this room, and then Davon brings Cody into chat, and then Danny, like, jumps up from the pillows, and Cody's like, that was the worst thing you ever could have done to me in my life, or something. I don't know his exact words, but it's something like that. You have betrayed me. You've deeply betrayed me. Like, he didn't say that, but that's the energy. It was like, he was so mad. And it was so funny. I'm crying now. Oh my God. Just thinking about it was so, like, they kept playing it over in slow-mo, and it was like, her coming up, and then him being like, it's so scary. I can't, I need a moment. It was so funny. Oh, I loved it. It made me so happy. They showed it again, like, on the next episode too, like, just because, you know, they show them like the commercials and stuff because it's such a fun moment. And it's just fun to see them like something outside of the game where they're just like fucking around with each other, you know, having a good time. They're like, I'm bored. Like, let's scare somebody. Like, all right, you bring them in here to talk. I'm gonna hide under these pillows. And just like, Cody, Tyler, Memphis, or Christmas need to win it. I would say, yeah, Marcia. So Birds fan, let me put that up on the screen. Who won H2H? Anyone know? I feel like we could probably find that online. I don't personally know. I don't watch the live feeds, but a lot of times people come into my live streams and tell me. So I'm like, if they tell me, if not, I'll just find out on Sunday. I don't really, or wait, what? Find out? Yeah, on Sunday. I don't really care to know ahead, but if someone wants to tell me, they can. So you say Cody, Tyler, Memphis, or Christmas need to win it. I would say that Cody, and I would say right now for me, Cody is the winner. Like, I think he deserves to win. He is very impressive at this game. Like, he is good. He's really good. I'm very like, okay, yes, I would vote for this dude. Like, he's doing just such a great job. And Memphis, I think, is doing a really good job at going undercover as part of the alliance, as part of the committee. Like, people don't realize he's in that alliance with them. Ian even said in tonight's episode that Memphis seems to be playing more of this like lone wolf kind of a game where he's just like, he just wants to compete and he basically only respects people that like have power and are competitive, playing good strategy, have alliances. Like, but you know, the alliances thing, maybe not, because he's this lone wolf who's not in an alliance, even though he was basically the creator. He actually was the creator of the committee. So that I think is very impressive that people don't really seem to be picking up on that, although David did pick up on it, and now Kevin, as of tonight's episode, Kevin picked up on it as well and shared it with Davon, so now she's aware of it as well. But that's impressive that he pulled it off for that long, so that is impressive, and I'll give Memphis that for sure. And Memphis is like a character, like he's entertaining to watch on TV, but he's kind of a dick, like, and I'm a dick too, like, Memphis, if you're watching this, which you're not because you're in the Big Brother house, but like, whatever, you know, whoever, Memphis's family, you know, I'm a dick too. Like, I don't dislike him necessarily. Like, there's things sometimes he says and I'm like, well, that's unlikable, like, to say that. I do the same thing. I have the same problem. I'm kind of a dick too, okay? So I'm not trying to criticize him, but I don't think it's a good strategy for winning because people are kind of like, oh, this guy's a dick. Like, I'm not going to vote for him, which is why I don't think I could win a game like this because people would be like, she's a dick. So again, I'm not trying to criticize him and say that I'm better than him by any means, but I do think that could shoot him in the foot for his game because he's kind of an asshole and he says shit that was like he said to Nicole, like, oh, well, if you and Ian want to go hang out in the jury together, like, we can definitely make that happen. And he just like walks away, like, and David, he's like, you're at the grown-ups table now. You're gonna have to step it up. I'm like, what the fuck? Who says crap like that? Like, dude, you're in. No, okay, you can think that and you can say it. You can act however you want. I don't really care. But if you're trying to win, if you're trying to get these people potential be in the jury house, now David and Ian and Nicole say Memphis goes and wins. These people are all potentially in the jury now, and you think they're going to give you their vote? Like, no, these people, they're never going to vote for you. Tell me a world in which Memphis gets David's vote. Like, he burned that bridge so early on and so unnecessarily. Like, it was just dumb to me. So I don't think Memphis will win because I don't think people will vote for him over anyone else. Like, I would sit next to Memphis at the end and be like, yeah, let's go against Memphis because people probably don't like him, you know? And maybe they have some respect for him. I don't know. But he's not even like, you know, it's like Enzo, Tyler, and Cody are really like the main male alliance within the committee. Memphis isn't really in on that, so. And Memphis was like kind of pissing even them off. Like, Tyler, you know, he was really pissed off about the David thing early on, and Cody thought it was kind of douchebaggish too, and I think Enzo echoed the same sentiments, so I don't really see Memphis getting votes. You know, if he was up against like Kevin at the end, maybe. Okay, maybe he would win just because people would be like, how in the hell can I give Kevin a vote when Kevin hasn't done anything in the game yet? Like, and Kevin's a nice guy. I'm not criticizing his personality or anything, but game-wise this season, he was dealt a bad hand and there's nothing to vote for there. Now, okay, so then you said Tyler. I don't agree that Tyler needs to win it at all. I think Tyler was very sloppy with making too many alliances and promises on the first day or whatever, first couple of days. then telling Davon and Bailey that Danny was coming for him because he was paranoid that she was coming for, I'm sorry, that she was coming for them because he was paranoid that she was coming for him when she wasn't. That was sloppy and dumb and ended up burning a bridge between himself and Danny, which didn't need to happen. And Danny even said, thank you, Tyler, because you messed up. And everyone, even in the committee, has to acknowledge that Tyler did mess up by doing that. So therefore, like, she is justified in targeting him, which is the last thing. You don't want to give someone a reason to target you where everyone goes, yeah, that's a pretty good reason because you did fuck up, you know, like, you don't want that. So he has that. Then what was the other thing? And then he says to Bailey, I'm going to go up in your place, before talking to Christmas about it and before actually getting her okay that she would do that, which made him look like a liar. And not only did it make him look like a liar, but he was a liar because he no longer like is honoring that. He's no longer trying to leave. Like, he wants to stay. He wants to win. He wants to play. So this whole thing about guilt and how it was all his fault that he blew it up and he doesn't feel right about it and he should go out instead of them. There's a lot of talk, but not a whole lot of action. So not a whole lot of walk. So I disagree that Tyler deserves to win. Again, no problem with Tyler as a person. I just think game-wise, he's made too many mistakes that he doesn't deserve to win. More mistakes than I've seen anyone else make. Okay, so, you know, that's not a winner in my book. Christmas, before she was HOH, I said, yeah, I would have said, like, yeah, Christmas, love it. Christmas and Enzo, like, final two, just, yes, I love it. I'm about it. Love to see it. Her kind of, like, outburst on Davon and Bailey was really not impressive and a bit, like, ugh, it wasn't great. Bailey's not in the jury house, which is good, I think, right? I think, was Ian the first member of the jury? I think. So, gave away who went home tonight, sorry. But, yeah, I think Cody right now. Cody and also Enzo. I think Cody and Enzo are playing a really, really, really good game right now. And I would say David is redeeming himself for me in some ways. So, and we'll talk about David very soon. We're getting there. So then we see Danny and Tyler have a little talk, right? Because Tyler's like, I don't know if she's coming for me. So he's telling her multiple times, you can come. Oh, wait, here, let me take that off the screen now. You agree, Birds fan? You thought it was funny? Kevin's just floating where he can stay alive. Yeah, exactly. He just wants to make it as far as he can, like everybody, right? Hey, Thomas, how are you? And you never know. I mean, there's competitions he could definitely win. And when he's in power, we'll see him really get a chance to play and have some power and see if he can, you know, live up to the all-star title. Hi, JC. How you doing? Okay. So we see Danny and Tyler talking about them coming after each other because of kind of blowing up, Tyler kind of wronging Danny. So she says, well, let's just make a deal that me and you aren't going to come after each other until the 6th. The committee is the final 6. Then, obviously, we all have to come after each other, and then it's fair game. But we'll make a deal. We'll shake hands on it. And Tyler says, yeah. However, he said, because I wronged you, you can come after me at 6. I can't come after you until 4. To me, again, not necessary. He didn't need to do that. He's making a promise that he's likely not going to keep. So it's just not a good way to play the game. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I've never played the game nor come as, Tyler's gotten runner-up before, so he's better at the game than I am, obviously. So what do I know? But I'm personally not impressed by it. So he also tells her, like, I totally would understand if you put me up or backdoored me or something. Like, I would totally deserve it. I just want you to know that. So I'm not totally caught up on Love Island. No, I haven't watched tonight's or last night's episode, so I don't know. I don't do recaps on here, but anytime you want to come in and, like, chat about the show, we can. Leo, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Moira? Yeah, Moira and Connor, right? I saw, like, little commercials for it when I was watching Big Brother tonight. Moira and Connor, and then, like, Jalen and Cher, and Calvin and Kirsten, it seemed like a lot of switching up. Yeah, maybe don't tell me, like, anything big, I saw, like, they kind of teased those switchings of relationships, and they showed, like, Mackenzie and Connor having a conversation, like, she's like, oh, my ex and my best friend, great, but that's just Mackenzie, so. Mackenzie the Tornado, yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, well, I'll hopefully get a chance to watch it tomorrow before we go to New York. But oh, Leo, thank you. That's so nice. I'm super tired right now. I did not even take a shower today, so thanks. I appreciate that. Calvin, I love how you're just saying like names and not actually saying anything. Carrington. Calvin and Carrington become a couple? Just kidding. Okay. All right. So then we get to the nomination ceremony, and Dani puts up David and Kevin. Very understandable, right? She says, Kevin, you're a pawn. David's the target. This is the way that it is. So I thought it was interesting but I was excited because David has the power, and I want to see like what he's gonna do with it, right? I'm excited, like, okay, he's excited. He's been wanting to disrupt. Now's his chance. He can take himself down. So very exciting. Okay, so we go to the next episode, which is normally Wednesday nights, but this past week was on Tuesday night, and Dani is saying that she put up Kevin and David because those are the only ones that she doesn't talk game with. So I wrote Ian ? Like, when do you ever talk game with Ian? But I don't watch the live feeds, and apparently they had this 4 prime thing since day 16. So apparently I just was out of the loop on that one. David fakes tears to pretend like he's not the one using the power. So he uses the power on himself and is like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He's like crying. He like really gets tears going. Like, that was impressive. He's like, come on, you see him in the room, like off the side. He's like, come on, like, come on, you can cry. You can do this, David. You got this. Just cry. Like, get some tears. And it's like, boom, 2 tears, same time. Like, oh, it's so perfect. Like, nope. And, he left him on his face, like, so everyone could see that he was crying. And then he, like, goes out during the disruptor power has been used. Dani, everyone report to the kitchen or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, what's going on? They go out, and he's like, looking at him. And I'm like, I wrote down that he was a good actor, but I will maybe take that back a little bit, because, okay, so he acts like, oh my God, what? He saved himself, and he's like, oh my God, ooh, I thought people wanted me gone. I'm so happy. And everyone's like, why are you crying? Like, you should be happy right now. You should be, like, hyped up. Like, this is, like, Davon said this was his chance to brag. This is, like, something that he could brag about having done, like, getting the power, saving himself. Like, see, I'm not like just some newbie. But instead, he tries to pretend like he doesn't know who did it. Now, at first, I was impressed because he went to Enzo and he was like, was that you? Like, did you do that? Enzo's like, no, man, I don't know anything about that. And I thought, okay, that's pretty subtle because he's friends with Enzo, even asking, like, Davon, like, was it you? And she's like, no. She's like, it wasn't me. I would have used it on myself last week. But then he asked every person. And it was just so obvious. Like, everyone's like, David, like, who would possibly use that power on anyone other than themselves? Like, who's going to take someone else down and then potentially go up as their replacement? Like, or if they're already on the block, like, they're going to take themselves down. Maybe it would be HOH, but, like, you really think Dani, like, put you up as a nom to use the disruptor power against you when she could save it and use it for herself next week, like, if she needed it? I mean, there just was no instance, there was no person that would do that. So it was just too obvious, and I just love how Cody is so straight with people. Like, he's very nice and friendly, and he smiles, and he's, like, nice about it, but he's like, come on, like, it was you, like, it's obviously you, He was it you? Did you use it on me? And Cody's like, no, man, I didn't use it on you. You used it on yourself. It's obvious. Who else would have done that? He even asked Kevin, like, was it you? Kevin's like, I would have taken myself down. What do you, shut up. Like, you don't have to keep this up. It's so obvious that it's you. Like, you would never be sitting there asking every single person. Like, it's just, so it kind of went downhill from a good acting performance to boom. Deb. This is my first day of being 30. How do I feel? I feel good. I'm happy. Who's my power couple? Oh, hell no, not Celia and Joy. No, Caleb and Justine. Facts. Christmas. Wait, why'd you say Christmas? Hi, Laura. Hey, Michael. Okay, so anyway, David takes himself down with the disruptor power, and she puts Tyler up in his place, which to me is like, what? Like, Enzo's not in the alliance. Ian's not in the alliance. Davon's not in the alliance. You put up Tyler, who's in the alliance, and you just, like, that day, maybe, or the day before, like, said to him, I'm not coming after you, or whatever, within a couple of days. You just said to him recently that you aren't going to put him up, you're not going to come after him until it's just the committee left. So we're just going to take out people who aren't in the alliance first. And then you put up Tyler, which is like, okay. Because it's Tyler and Kevin now, and it's like, Tyler's an actual threat. People might actually want to send him home. They might say, hey, this is our chance. He ended up there. She's against him. Like, this might be our chance to get out a competitive player and keep Kevin in because Kevin's not really a threat, rather than, like, vote Kevin out, which is easy and isn't really necessarily in a lot of, some of the minorities' best interests. And when I say minority, I don't mean skin color. I mean the minority, like the people that aren't in the big alliance. The minority of the people in the house. So I don't know. It was kind of like, what? But we got to figure out more of what was going through her head and who she was really working with as the time went on. So that was good. I was wondering if David could have pinned the power on anyone, that he could have confided in someone, like, yo, someone like Davon used it on me. But it's like, okay, well, you can't do that because Davon would have used it on herself last week. So you could be like, oh, Enzo used it on me. But, like, why would Enzo do that? Like, why wouldn't he just use it on himself the following week? Because I was trying to think, well, what he could have done is just say, like, so-and-so did it. Like, they told me they did it. And just kind of, like, see if that holds any water. But I don't think there's anyone he could have got, like, that anyone would have believed that at all, because that person is still there and will be able to deny it, and it's going to be pretty obvious who's lying in the end, I think. So I tend to agree with Davon that this was David's chance to just brag and say, like, I'm taking myself down. Nice try trying to put me up and get me out of here. I'm not expendable. I'm staying. You thought I was going home? I'm safe, and I'm competing in the HOH competition, so watch out, kind of thing, And instead he just, like, pretended like he had no idea what was happening. Nicole finishes her slop-a-tard punishment, so she gets to take that crazy cereal box costume off and wear her regular clothes again. So that was cute. Then we get to the veto. So Danny, Tyler, and Kevin compete alongside Davon, Ian, and Enzo. And they have to stack. They say, like, oh, you guys are going to get a bunch of micro brews. And they're all like, yeah, beer, woo. They're like, oh, wait, like, the micro brews, they're actually micro. They're just, like, these little tiny beer cans, like this big. Like little tiny beer cans, and they have these giant tweezers that are, like, basically like tongs, but, like, with the tweezer end. Like, they're that size, they're big, and you're, like, picking up the beer cans and stacking them in a pyramid on a little tiny bar. So it's basically like a box like this. It's like a window, and their head is there, and it's like a tiny bar inside. And the way they had the cameras was so funny. It made them look like giants. Like, they look like they're, like, these giants, like, putting, like, like, with the normal size, like, these giant tweezers, like, putting the beer cans in this tiny little bar. It was really quite funny and entertaining, but it was also, like, a challenge that doesn't require physical strength. So it was something really anybody could have won. So they're like, some of them are shaking. If they breathe out too hard, it, like, blows down the pyramid. They have to have 5 on the bottom, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So it took a while. It seemed like it took a long time for them to really, like, actually have a winner. And it ends up being Davon. She wins her first ever competition, and they give her, like, this tiny little Power of Veto necklace in the spirit of, like, the micro competition. She's like, it's the first thing I ever won, and it's so tiny, but, like, it still counts. Like, don't clown me. Like, this is it's so fun. I love her. She's like, do not even troll me about this. Like, I won fair and square. I don't care what the size of the necklace is. Like, this is power. And she had told Danny beforehand that she wouldn't change noms because she doesn't want Danny to stress, but also Davon has never won a competition in the history of Big Brother, so she didn't actually think she was going to win. And when she actually won, she was like, oh shit, like, I want Tyler to go home really bad. Do I think that he's going to go home next to Kevin? Probably not. Like, if I could, and me and Kevin are very close friends. We're working together. He's one of my numbers. If I save him, he'll be my forever number. I have to seriously consider taking him off. So she talks to Danny about it, and she explains, like, I'm considering using it. And they, Danny kind of threatens her a little bit and kind of says, like, well, if you do this, like, this is going to ruin what we're doing here. Like, trying to build trust with each other because, like, that'll make me have to put up a fourth person, right? So she put up David and Kevin. David took him. Well, yeah, let me say Kevin and David. David took himself down. So she put up Tyler. Now, if Davon takes Kevin down, I don't want to flip you guys off. If she takes Kevin down, then she's got to put up another person, which will be 4 total nominations. So she's like, please don't do that to me. Like, that would really super suck. But then Davon's like, well, you realize, like, Kevin is one of the only people who I really, truly trust would have my back. He's not part of this big alliance. So, like, how can I just let him go out the door when I have the chance to keep him here and keep at least one number in my favor? That's a pretty good argument. And Danny was like, I think she's going to use it. And Nicole's like, yeah, I do too. And Cody's like, no, she'll never use it. And then when Danny was like, no, I'm pretty sure she's using it, Cody's like, are you serious? And it like kind of started to sink in, like, she's going to use it. And sure enough, she did. And she used it on Kevin. She took him down off the block, which meant Danny had to put someone else in his place. And she put Ian there, which I didn't think that was that big of a deal because, again, I didn't know about the 4 prime until tonight. Hi! Did you say head? Oh, happy birthday. That was an H-E-D. I'm like, what is that? Thank you so much, Eunice. You're so pretty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's my effing birthday, Hayden. Well, actually, it's not anymore because it ended 42 minutes ago, but it was Thursday. It's still my birthday where you are. Had. Thank you, Smitty. Thank you, Hayden. I love you too. Okay. It counts. I think it counts. Yeah, it's still my birthday there. Someone sang me happy birthday like 5 hours before it was my birthday for me because it was my birthday for her already. So that's the beauty of having international friends. Like, it's my birthday much longer than 24 hours because everyone I know, like Eunice, it was my birthday like a whole day before it was actually my birthday for me, so it still counts because I know her, so therefore it's my birthday. I would say my birthday was at least 30 hours long to go with the number of years I am old now. 30. Hi, Manny. Exactly. If I was there, it would be my birthday. Exactly. Exactly. So therefore, it is my birthday. Okay. Where are we now? Danny wins her first ever comp. I said that. She uses it on Kevin. She says, you're not my ally, but you are my friend, which is BS. Obviously, everyone knows, like, obviously this is considered an ally, right? This is someone you know will vote for you, so what is that if not an ally? But she's afraid because she's like, the last time she was part of a duo, her duo partner went home, so she's trying not to make it seem like her and Kevin are super close, but she feels bad, and she feels like she can trust him more than others, so she's keeping him around. Which is a good move because it made Danny put up 4 people, which causes a whole lot of drama outside of you. Smitty, thank you for the super hearts. Very nice of you. Okay, I love you very much too, Eunice, and have a good day at work. Bye. Hey, Scott, how are you doing? Okay. So she puts Ian up as the ultimate pawn. She says she'll be fully campaigning for Tyler to go home because of the issue that they had. Ian showed some rage. So I'm going to go a little bit off, not script, but like off of the show for a second. This is more philosophy based on autism and discrimination that we're about to get into. So buckle your seatbelts. So I'm good, Scott. I'm good. So Ian, in the little confessional booth, he shows rage over the fact that he was put up as the replacement nom. And he angrily said, how fucking stupid can she be? And he kicks the table or whatever little thing's in front of him. And he's like, how fucking stupid can she be? And that's something that any of us could do. At the same time, because he's on the spectrum, I'm not sure that people feel as comfortable to criticize him for behaving in such a way because they don't want to be, not politically correct. They don't want to be discriminating against him because maybe that's part of his autistic expression or something. Okay, fair enough. However, Nicole Franzel, his closest ally in the game and the only other winner in the game, lost major corporate sponsorships this past week because of, I should have looked at the actual footage, but from what I read, like just the transcription of it online, it sounds like people like were expressing that it's a little bit hard to be around Ian when he's constantly moving and rocking himself, which is a self-soothing technique he uses for sensory overload, being on the spectrum. So yeah, he can't help what he's doing, but it's fair enough for people to be bothered by it. It's like, if they're just like, it, like, I think, did she say, or someone, I don't know exactly how it all played out, but like someone said, it really, like, it just stresses me out, like how he's always moving. Like sometimes I just want to like relax and be still and be calm. Like she or he, whoever, has every right to feel that way and to want some space and calm, quiet energy. And Ian even said in tonight's episode that he's naturally anxious. Like he has a high anxious energy. So it is not a problem. It is not discrimination. It is not like criticizing him for being autistic to say like, you know, the constant moving is stressful for me. Like you're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to be annoyed by someone who has, I don't even know if autism is considered like a disability, but if it is, like, you know, whether they have a physical, like maybe it's annoying that someone's wheelchair leaves like marks around your kitchen floor or something from like being outside. Like you're allowed to be annoyed by that. You're not like criticizing the person for being in a wheelchair, right? You're just annoyed by the fact that you constantly have to clean your kitchen floor because the wheelchair like tracks mud through the house or whatever, dirt or whatever, you know, whatever it might be, or like the rubber leaves like marks when they're kind of like turning and maneuvering around the house. Whatever it may be. I used to sell wheelchairs for a long time, and I'm comfortable with people with disabilities, and I realize that these are people, right? And they're not like saints. These are not all angels. Like, because someone is disabled does not mean they are innocent of like anything. Like, we must not criticize them for anything or ever be annoyed by them or anything, because that's discrimination. That's treating them differently because of their disabilities. That's exactly what you're preaching and criticizing other people for, is what you're doing. So I just thought it was interesting that she, what it sounded like, either like laughed at something Memphis said or something. She was like, she participated. She didn't like stand up for him or something. And she lost like major sponsorships. She wasn't criticizing him for having autism or like really being rude, right? She was just like being a human. And he can say, Danny is, how fucking stupid can she be, in a rage, and people are like, then he can just have no loss of support, right? Like, that's discrimination. Like, that's not just letting someone be a human and like being like, sometimes, you know, things aren't perfect. Like, people with disabilities, like if someone's in a wheelchair, doesn't mean like they can do no wrong and like not be a dick or something, you know? I mean, it's irrelevant. So that's how I feel about that. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. Maybe you completely disagree with me, and that's cool. I would love to hear that too, because I thought I was bothered by it myself. So, and not for the reasons that a lot of people are bothered by it, seems like. All the contestants go through mental exams before getting picked for shows. Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about that. Now we're going to get to tonight's episode. I was going to say Thursday night. Yeah, that was the episode that just happened. Eviction night. I already kind of gave away who went home. And I will say that he very much redeemed himself from the expression I just said, where he said, how fucking stupid can she be? He didn't have all the information, and when he got all the information, he was like, good play, well played, you know. He was very good sport about it. So again, I'm not criticizing Ian either for saying how fucking stupid can someone be, because that's exactly the kind of thing I might say about somebody. Like, is this person fucking stupid? Like, how could you think I'm the ultimate pawn? Like, I'm a winner. I'm on the block. Like, no one's going to see Tyler as a bigger threat than I am. This is a very good opportunity for them to get me out. They're going to get me out. Like, everybody likes me. Great. That doesn't make me a good pawn, because that means that they see me as a threat because everyone likes me. So what the hell? Totally valid for him to have that expression and to have feelings and to kick a table or whatever. You know, it's not a person, so I guess that's fine.
I don't know what it's like to be a guy and have testosterone. I also don't know what it's like to be on the spectrum. So again, I'm not criticizing people for what they're doing. I'm just saying game-wise, like how this stuff plays out, and then also just in general of like people with disabilities and people that are on the spectrum. I wanted to kind of take a chance to say what I think about this, because I think this whole like, you know, the politically correct, like everyone's a snowflake, like we don't want to like ruffle anybody's feathers is like not really realistic, you know? Like sometimes we're annoyed by things, and sometimes we're annoyed by people, and sometimes we don't want to play with certain people. We want to play with other people more than other people, and like, you know, it's like I'm explaining this to my elementary age stepsons. It happens all throughout life, you know. Sometimes we prefer one person to another, and it hurts the other person's feelings, and it's just the way of the world. So there's that. Okay. So Danny's whole thing about how she's fully campaigning for Tyler to go home and Ian is the ultimate pawn is a ruse. She just wants Ian to feel safe so he doesn't campaign too hard and so that he just, you know, feels good. I don't know. So she's like, you know, she wants everyone to think that her and Tyler are at odds and they're trying to get each other out so that everyone kind of thinks like, oh, well, they're against each other, because then they can kind of use that by not being against each other. And, you know, Tyler said it's perfect. We're like hiding in plain sight. So I think that's a pretty good strategy, but it's not fully that, you know, they are kind of going for each other. It's just not the right timing because of the committee and them both being a member of that same major alliance. You know, the numbers aren't there yet, but in the next couple of weeks, that'll definitely play out. She doesn't want the committee to turn against her, which is why, you know, doesn't want to get Tyler. At first she said, yeah, she was wanting to get Tyler out, but now she's like, okay, well, if the committee is all going to come after me, if I get him out, then all bets are off. I'm not going to get him out. It's fine. We'll get Ian out. I'm more worried about a major committee than like Ian and maybe Nicole, who Danny and Nicole are extremely tight and close, and Nicole's in the committee as well. So then Nicole also can't go against the committee by trying to get Ian to stay and get Tyler out, because she will be she'll be a target, right? Whether it's Danny next or Nicole next, they put themselves on the bottom of the alliance by going against them, which sucks for them because they also view Tyler as a bigger competitive threat, you know, physically and athletically than Ian. They feel more confident to be able to compete with Ian. So they feel like, you know, and Nicole said, like, I've won this game before. I think I have a pretty good sense of timing. Like when's a good time for certain people to go out of the game? And she's like, and this is like the perfect chance for us to get someone like Tyler out of this game and get a big, strong competitor out of the game. But weren't able to pull that one off. So Ian basically like, he starts to really think like, wow, Danny's just like an idiot. Like, why would she put me up instead of, and Memphis even says to him, like, yeah, I thought it was gonna be like me or Enzo. Like, and, you know, Ian's like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, how am I a good pawn against Tyler? Like, someone that hasn't won before and hasn't made it as far as Tyler has and hasn't won as much stuff would be a pretty obvious target here. So I'm not really a good pawn. And he directly criticizes Danny for it. And he basically says, like, you messed up, you made a dumb mistake. It's just not fair that I have to go out because you made a mistake. Like, it just sucks, you know, that you, like, messed this up for me. And she handles herself really well because she could have flipped out on him for that, because she is actually, you know what I mean? It's all a bluff. Like, she never intended for him to be the pawn. Like, she's someone that she thinks could go out next to Tyler, you know, that like people would actually put out instead of Tyler so she can keep the committee happy. So she's like, oh, well, I can't put up someone else in my major alliance, and I'm trying to work with Davon, so you're like the only other option, or Enzo. And Nicole makes a good point to Danny. And not to I didn't see her talk to Danny about it, but she talks to Cody about it. She says, I'm a little bit pissed off because Danny had a choice to either put up my number one, Ian, or Cody's number one, Enzo. And she chose to put up my number one. And that makes me wonder where I'm at in this totem pole, right? Because she basically chose Cody over her. That Danny chose Cody over Nicole. That's how Nicole feels. So it's like, you know, a little bit of a slap in the face. She's really upset. She cries a lot. She's really, I mean, Nicole really cares for Ian, like, deeply. Like, it seems like she really personally loves him. And strategically, obviously, she wants him in the game because he's another winner. So if he goes, then she's the only winner left, and she might go out right behind him. Also, by voting against him, she shows her hand that, like, she wasn't really with Ian to begin with. So you know, now everybody kind of knows that she's in that alliance. However, I think most people already knew that, so it's not as big of a deal as she seems to think that it is game-wise. Winner-wise, yes, the fact that she's the only winner left, very good to be worried about that. And she does pretty much campaign for Ian to stay, which is a bit risky. And Memphis says to her, like I said, he says, listen, if you want to go hang out with Ian and the jury, we can make that happen. And that was, wow. That was just a wow, 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 wow. Kevin notices that Tyler isn't campaigning. And he's like, that's kind of weird because you're on the block. So, like, if you don't want to go home. And Davon's like, well, maybe he just wants, you know, he's done with this game like he said he was. And, you know, and Kevin's like, I don't know. And he's like, you know, I think, now Kevin starts to realize, he's like, I think Memphis and Christmas are in that, like, bigger main alliance. And then he's like, but Danny and Tyler aren't, you know, do they have, he's like, they don't, you know, they're against each other now. And Davon's like, well, that's what we think. So the two of them kind of put a lot of pieces together in this conversation where she's like, we don't know that they're actually fighting like this. And he's like, oh yeah, like this could be a big like fake fight because the majority is just going to keep Tyler and just pretend like they're getting Ian out. But really Tyler's safe yet again on the block. And so he's the pawn. And they're kind of like, crap, what do we do? Because there's still only Kevin, Davon, and David, and then Ian, who is now on the block. So tricky, very tricky. And both Kevin and David were on the block before Ian, and Davon was on the block last week. So they're like, like, what do we do here? It's not really a good. They're not in a good spot. They're not in a good spot. Hey, Communo, what's up? I have two mics. Yeah, so this is the mic you're hearing me through, and this is the mic for my gaming. So when I'm like playing Fortnite, the people I'm playing the game with hear me through this microphone. Shalom. Shalom. How are you, Max? Let's see if I missed any of that information before I turn the page. I wrote like 4 pages of notes on these this week. Okay, so then we get to the vote, and sure enough, Ian is the one who goes home. Tyler is safe. It's 5 versus 3. Everyone in the committee votes to keep Tyler, and then the 3 outside of the alliance vote to keep Ian. So Ian goes home. Ian went out so then he hugged everyone and said, good game. Good game. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. Good game. Then when he finds out about the committee out with Julie, he's like, oh my God. She's like, how do you feel now that you know about the committee? He's like, I'm ecstatic. That's the word he used. I am ecstatic that it was a good play. That was like good game. Like they got me and that was well played. And she said like Nicole really was campaigning to keep you there, but she was just part of a larger alliance that wanted you to go out, and Tyler was part of that alliance, and so is Danny. And, you know, he was kind of like, okay, so now he has that respect for Danny and her play and the committee in general, Memphis and, you know, Christmas. He kind of sees like, oh my God, like that's impressive. They did a good job. And I just thought that was so classy and just so awesome that he, you know, and I feel like a lot of the people that have gone out this season have been that way. They're like, oh, nice one. Like impressive. They got me. Like that is surprising and well played. I didn't even know that was happening. You know, it's so cool to like, it's just like this respect they have for the game that I really admire and think is so cool. So it was good. It was very good. Danny did not use her power to compete in the head of household competition tonight, which you could have told by the eviction meeting, because she was like super dolled up, and you don't get dolled up to compete in a Big Brother competition. So everyone else is in like shorts and tank tops, and she's like in a nice dress with red lipstick and stuff. So we knew she wasn't going to use it. She did not use it. Instead, she sat on the sidelines and watched, which makes a lot of sense, because a part of me thought, well, she needs to use the power so she can get HOH again, because she needs it, because she like, you know, made a lot of waves. But then another part of me is like, well, I get why she doesn't want to be HOH again, because she's had enough attention on her. She already had to put up 4 people. The last thing she wants to do is put up 2 more people, because basically she'd probably get forced to put up Davon, which she doesn't really want to do. I feel pretty good about that. Like she seems like, I just don't want it. She just doesn't want to put more people up. She was like, let someone else take the shots this week. So she doesn't use it. And it's basically like a fire hydrant puzzle. They have to get the puzzle pieces from like across some distance, bring them over to the area, and build a puzzle that looks like a fire hydrant. I don't know who won that yet. They didn't show us on TV. No one has told us in the chat, so I guess we'll find out on Sunday nights. So that's it. That is my update on my life and my birthday and on the last 3 episodes of Big Brother. So I do this every Thursday night on YouTube and Periscope. My username is NextJuice everywhere. My name is Taylor, and I go live every single day on Periscope and on Twitch. So I'm actually going to go live on Twitch right now. I'm going to play a couple hours of duos on Fortnite with my friend Katie, and I hope to see you guys over there. Follow me on all social media if you like. I did post a little update for my GoFundMe for my schooling for my bachelor's degree in psychology on my Twitter page and my Facebook page today. So check it all out. And please, 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 please remember, you are worthy of being loved and feeling comfortable in your own skin. Give it time. Love you. This has been a moment in time with Taylor. I hope to see you guys over on Twitch. And big thank you for the super hearts, Jose, Reggie, and John. Good night. See you on Twitch. Bye, Laura. Thanks for the hearts. Love you. And thanks for the love. Mwah. See you tomorrow if I don't see you on Twitch. See you on Periscope. Probably just a little short stream because I'm going to be traveling to New York tomorrow. So I'll pop on though. I always do. I always do. I don't know what that means. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Okay, bye. Yeah, thanks for the hearts. I love you. I feel a lot of love today.